What is the next 6 months going to look like if this stays the same or gets worse? And is it something that I should prepare for? Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, if we don't start preparing for winter now, by the time winter rolls around, it's going to be too late for many people. Here it says, perfect storm of factors sends U.S. natural gas prices soaring. I'm pretty sure that I can identify one of the reasons why liquid natural gas or natural gas that comes through your pipes into your homes is soaring without even reading this article. And that is that we are exporting a lot of our natural gas in the liquid form to other nations because they are struggling with getting energy because of the sanctions that we've put forth on Russia because of this Russia-Ukraine deal. Now, you may agree with what Russia's doing. You may disagree with what Russia's doing. I don't really care. What do I care about? I care about the final outcome and what that means to my family in the weeks, months, and even years ahead. And that's why I'm reading this. That's why I read these articles, so that you can see or think for yourself, really. Not so that you can see, but think for yourself. What is the next 6 months going to look like if this stays the same or gets worse? And is it something that I should prepare for? Is it something that I should think about or consider preparing for so that my family doesn't have to go without? Because more than likely, everyone listening to this right now, more than likely, you're not going to freeze to death in the winter, right? But you're going to end up having to pay a lot more for your natural gas. And it's not natural gas. We all know that all forms of energies are going up in price due to various things. One of them being inflation, the other one being the restrictions, mandates, whatever you want to call it, policies that the government has put forth on our energy plan here in the United States of America. U.S. natural gas fundamentals remain bullish, and that may be good for traders, but it's not good for the average consumer, as above normal temperatures drive cooling demand and dwindling supplies that would have been used for the next winter season causes markets to tighten, sending futures for July delivery soaring 9.5%. Let me go ahead and take a little sidetrack really quick, because someone asked me, how do I figure out how much one of my 20-pound propane cylinders will last on my generator? So they have a generator that uses propane to power it, which is great. I think everyone ought to have a generator, ladies and gentlemen. But more than likely, it'll say it on the box. It'll say a 20-pound generator at half capacity will last 10 hours or 7 hours or something like that. But normally, 1 pound of propane has about, as you can see here, 91,500 BTUs. So let's say, for example, I'll use my heater in the house, right? I have a propane heater as a backup, and it has a max of about 40,000 BTU, if I remember right. It's either 35,000 or 40,000. So that heater, when it is going at its max, when it is on high, it will burn through 40,000 BTU of propane in 1 hour. So if 1 pound of propane has 90,000 BTU, that means that 1 pound of propane will run my heater for 2 hours on full. Actually, a little more than 2 hours, but always better to be safe than sorry and go a little bit more conservative when you're figuring these things out. So I know that 1 pound of propane will operate my heater in my house for 2 hours easily. And then that is how you can calculate how much propane you would need for a heater. And for a generator, it usually says it right there on the box or in your manual. Now, skipping through the story, ladies and gentlemen, although general production growth is widely expected through year end by most energy analysis, the speed at which the production comes online is the main concern. Remember, I talked about this a while back, that when we take things offline and we mothball them, pretty much saying that we leave the infrastructure there, but they're now unoperational, they're not operational, that you can't just start them up right quick and have the same production that you had before you turn them off right away. So that's what's happening here. Higher production rates will be needed to fill national storage inventories before this winter, especially if summer temperatures continue to come in above average. So now they're finding out that shutting all of these plants down and stuff like that is not working. And I'm not going to talk about this. I haven't even pulled up this article, but I heard somewhere, I think I saw a video on this or saw an article, that the president declared a national energy emergency. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, goodness gracious, thank you, Lord. Thank you. They finally realized that we need more energy. So I was thinking that he was going to lift the pause on leases and drilling and stuff like that. No, I find out that the energy emergency, what they're going to do is they're going to pass executive orders ordering companies to make more solar panels, ladies and gentlemen. We live in upside down world is what we live in. Today is Tuesday, so maybe it's opposite day today. And here's what I was talking about, that we are exporting our natural gas when we need it here in the United States. So when people say that, oh, the reason that gas is going up is because we're at peak oil. I've heard that already. Oh, we're at peak oil. We're not at peak oil, ladies and gentlemen. They've been saying that for the last, 40, 50 years? Anyways, that's my opinion. Obviously, I'm not a geologist or anything like that, but I don't believe that we're at peak oil. They've been saying that forever. Just like in the 70s, they were saying that we were going into an ice age, and now they're saying that we're warming. They changed the narrative in order for it to suit their agenda. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Right here it says the market has exploded. LNG charter rates soar as traders rush to secure tankers. We are exporting something that we need. That is why I feel it is pertinent for you to do your own research and prepare. Prepare, ladies and gentlemen, because when I say that this government, and pretty much a lot of other governments, I can't say all, because some governments are doing the right thing by their people and stopping the exports of things that they need. This government here in the United States, I believe they will continue to export those things that we need, causing us to have to pay more of our labor for the same amount and or go without. That is what will happen. So you have to decide for yourself. Do you want to chance going without something? And it doesn't just have to be natural gas. Or do you want a chance having to pay twice as much of your labor to get that something? I was watching a channel, I think it's called Sunshine Preparedness. I'm not sure. I forget the name. So forgive me on that. But a very nice lady runs that channel, and she was talking about some laundry detergent that she used to buy for $2.97. And the amount that it cost did not go up at all. It was still $2.97. And she showed us an example of a bottle that she used to purchase in the past for $2.97 and a bottle that she purchases now for $2.97. And I believe that the bottle that she purchased in the past was almost twice as big as the one that she purchases now.
I have always gotten this Palmolive phosphate-free dish detergent, and it used to be called Eco. Well, I just added it to my cart like normal. It's always been $2.97, and so I added a couple to my cart. When I got it, I was like, what the heck is this small little bottle? This is 45 ounces. Now, for $2.97, it's always been a bigger bottle, 75 ounces. I think I have one right here. Okay, so see that? It's the same stuff. This is $2.97 a month ago or so, whenever I bought it. This is $2.97 now.
So she is literally paying twice as much of her labor to buy that smaller bottle than what she did to buy the bigger bottle. Even though the price hasn't changed, she is paying more of her labor to buy that smaller bottle. That is the decision you have to make, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have a video coming out tomorrow with minute or small payday preps, I guess you can call them, that I've been gathering over the last couple of months just to show you that slow and steady does win the race. And also it can give some people ideas as to things that they may not have thought about getting, and they can now say, oh wow, look at that. I might need that, so I better get one of those. But anyways, I digress. Here it says, last week we showed that while U.S. natural gas prices have had several catalysts that have propelled them higher in recent weeks, one of the biggest drivers why natural gas is trading at the highest level in over a decade was the recent surge in LNG exports. And I haven't read this article. LNG exports to Europe. Doesn't matter where it's to. All that matters is that we are actually exporting things that we need, ladies and gentlemen. But while the surge in oil exports is bad news for U.S. consumers, it's fantastic news for LNG tankers because the FT reports the world's largest gas traders are scrambling to secure liquefied natural gas tankers ahead of winter so that they can make that money. A lot of people blame the traders. A lot of people blame the companies, saying they're making record profits. I had this conversation with my wife yesterday. And she was talking about these oil companies that are complaining about the decisions that this administration is making that's impacting the price of oil. And she said, but they're making record profits. And I say, you have to understand that the price of oil is not determined by the oil company. It is determined by the free market. And the government creates the conditions by which the market makes the price of oil or gas or anything higher. It is the government's policies that is creating these conditions, ladies and gentlemen. Is it not the government's policies that have created the conditions for the price of oil to go up here in the United States, in Europe, and Western worlds, and for Russia to now be making record profits on oil sales? Weren't these sanctions that the U.S. and other nations put forth on Russia supposed to, bankrupt them? Make it harder for them to trade? But now they're making bigger profits than they've ever made before. So the sanctions are working in the opposite of what they were intended to work, or I would say that they were intended to work, not knowing what their agenda is, right? What the rulers' agendas are. The sanctions were supposed to bankrupt Russia, okay? And it was supposed to make things better for us. Now it's the other way around. We're paying twice as much, 3 times as much for energy, while Russia is making record profits. And Saudi Arabia is laughing all the way to the bank. For those of you that might have read an article where it says that Saudi Arabia is going to increase production by like 700 million barrels or 700,000 barrels a day, something like that. Not million barrels, 700,000 barrels a day for like the next couple of months or so. That is going to have zero impact. Oh, am I allowed to use this? Am I allowed to... I'm sorry, I digress. Oh, I'm being a jackass. It's going to have zero impact, ladies and gentlemen, on the price of fuel, the price of gas at the pump, that they're pumping an extra 200,000 barrels a day. The only impact it's going to have is that Saudi Arabia is going to make more money on their exports. Why? Because now they're exporting more at a higher price. Don't let them fool you. This winter is going to be very challenging. One of the top priorities that I have for this winter is to get more fuel. I'm trying to get some more fuel, even at these elevated prices, because I feel that the price of heating fuel, diesel, gasoline, propane is only going to continue to go up. Diesel is once again higher than prices for crude oil or gasoline. And it's the same story, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere you look. Diesel prices have wrapped up 4 days of trading in which they are finishing far higher than they were at the start of the business week and have moved up faster than crude and gasoline prices, which kind of like doesn't make sense because diesel is moving up higher on a percentage basis than crude oil, which is where diesel comes from, and gasoline prices as well. For people that want to save the earth and go completely green, even in a green environment, even in a green world, we would still need oil and fossil fuels, ladies and gentlemen. That's what people don't understand. You cannot make plastic, all right, with solar panels or wind turbines. You cannot make the things that we make today without the input of fossil fuels. It is a worrisome trend for consumers because it signals that once again diesel is moving at a pace more bullish than that of the petroleum market as a whole. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you off with this. This is how good our sanctions have worked with Russia. Russia sees extra $6.4 billion oil revenue in June as prices rally. That's just in June, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible. Russia expects to receive as much as $6.37 billion in additional oil and gas revenues in June. Its finance ministry said on Friday as energy commodity prices have rallied since the Russian invasion on Ukraine. We are going to enter into a depression, ladies and gentlemen, worldwide depression, hopefully not a world war, but I think that that is inevitable as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, So get ready now. Start getting ready now, because the prices of fuels, they govern the price of almost everything, if not everything. Everything. Everything that you touch in your daily life, everything that you eat, everything that you consume in whatever way has something attached to some kind of fuel, one fuel or another. And solar panels and wind turbines are not going to be able to supply the things that fossil fuels supply. And the attack is on fossil fuel, which means that the attack is on you and me. Because fossil fuels are carbon, and you and I are carbon as well. Having said that, I hope you have a great day. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.
Hello everyone. I have here today in order to ask you one simple question. All the crazy things going on in the world, if something bad happens, if something does not go your way, and it becomes too much to take, tell me, what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do if the lights go out? If the bars on your phone go down? What you gonna do when the food in your fridge runs out?
What you gonna do?
Alaska Prepper has got the measure to help you make it through December. Help you prepare no matter the weather.
What you gonna do?
Ladies and gentlemen, Nutrient Survival has launched an Alaska Prepper Payday Prep Bucket, and it will be available for the month of June. When you visit the page, make sure to take a look at the nutrition tool that an independent laboratory has developed, and you will see that this bucket is 17 times more nutrient dense than the top 3 leading brands of long-term freeze-dried foods. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't only partner with Nutrient Survival because they have great people, but because Nutrient Survival is the most nutrient-dense, long-term survival freeze-dried food in the market, and it tastes great. So feed your freedom with Nutrient Survival.